All right, everyone, I think we have just about all the folks that have logged on for the last webinar on. My name is Eric Hayden. I'm a meteorologist with the Weather Service in Newport. This is the current radar loop over the last couple of hours. If you joined us this morning, we mentioned that not a lot of activity for some of us today, kind of a lull, spotty precipitation, and that really is the case up toward Greenville and Kinston and north of New Bern. But I want you to notice over the last hour, really last half an hour, this area of orange that has expanded across Jones County, New Bern, Maysville, down through Jacksonville, especially the north side of town. This precipitation is going to continue to blossom over the next couple of hours. Here in a second, I'll show you that loop or the images that we showed you on the last couple of webinars, what you can expect in terms of the transition overnight here in a moment. But I just want you to see how the precipitation is starting to expand. That's just the start of it. We think this will really get going here towards 6 o'clock tonight, and that will continue for the rest of the overnight. The other thing I do want to mention, while some of you may not have seen a lot of wintry weather yet, that has not been the case down toward the Crystal Coast. Not significant icing. It's still borderline temperatures. I'll show you. The sun is out. I know you can't see it, but our peak heating is about 3 o'clock each day. So once the sun starts to get lower and eventually go down towards sunset, things are going to change pretty quickly around here. So please keep that in mind. But this darker pink or red shading across Onslow County and Carteret, we can attest to that here at the office. We've had a light glaze all day, temperatures around 30. Right now, it's just cars and trees and elevated services, but we imagine that will start to be the roads, initially overpasses and things like that as we get into the rest of this evening. So again, this area will continue to increase in coverage across the rest of the region as we head through the rest of this evening. As far as temperatures go, very, very cold. Upper 20s right now, Greenville, Kinston, around freezing, if not just below. Jacksonville through New Bern, only around 30 degrees. So again, the sun is aiding us right now through the clouds. As soon as that sun goes down, things are going to start to ice up, first on the bridges and the secondary roads, but things are going to go downhill pretty quickly as we lose the daytime heating. Really close call we mentioned in Carteret County, that is continuing, only around 30 across the central and western part of the county. Here at the office, we've been 30 degrees the last hour. The observation in Moorhead or in Beaufort is 34. So huge difference across the county. And then also another big difference up across northern Dare, and this will transpire through the rest of the evening. Manio, Kill Devil Hills, Kitty Hawk, you're 36, 37, no real issues, but only 29 in Elizabeth City. So we still anticipate a changeover across northern Dare County as we get toward midnight. So let me show you some of what we expect for the rest of the overnight. This is largely unchanged. Again, this is in your inbox, so if I go too quick, you can certainly take a look at that. Later this evening, a couple hours from now, we expect the precipitation to continue to increase in coverage across our area. The far north, all snow, freezing rain continuing for southern Onslow, Carteret, also Craven County, Pamlico, Beaufort, up through Hyde, all rain points east. This line from just near Jacksonville to New Bern and Kinston, you'll have a wintry mix, snow, sleet, and freezing rain this evening. As we go forward in time through 10 o'clock, the darker solid colors on this image indicate higher confidence that the precipitation is going to be heavier, more widespread. So again, all snow to the north, Greenville, Williamston, over toward Plymouth. This pink area, that's where we're concerned that there'll be freezing rain. Near that line, you may have a little sleet, but as this storm really gets going, we think you're going to go over to all snow, Kinston, and especially north of New Bern. Mainly rain for the Outer Banks, but watch what happens as we go toward midnight. This is also largely unchanged. Change over to snow across the northern part of the county, Manio, really Oregon Inlet northward. All snow inland, heavy at times. Snowfall rates will be quite hard and come down pretty good here for a couple hours, especially overnight tonight. The freezing rain, big deal across Onslow, Jones, southern Craven, Carteret, Pamlico, Beaufort counties into Hyde. For the rest of the overnight, things really wind down toward daybreak tomorrow. Still some snow first thing in the morning at 4 a.m. Still freezing rain by the coast. We'll probably have a light coating. We'll probably end as snow. Jacksonville, Moorhead City, Bogue, Cape Carteret, those areas, and we'll get a light coating of snow before it's all said and done. And by 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, everything's to the east of our area if you have a few snowflakes when you first wake up, it won't last very long. This will quickly move off the coast. The ice map, again, largely unchanged, some cosmetic changes here and there, but really no changes. If you're near or in the red area, that's where we expect more than 1/4 inch of ice, perhaps as much as a half. The best chance for at least a half would be this darker shading of red: Jacksonville, Maysville, Trenton, Pollocksville, near Havelock, Newport, Cape Carteret, Bogue, that western part of Carteret County. Carteret County, very, very much on the edge. The highest amounts, Morehead City west, and then for down east, especially the western part toward the river itself. But as you get towards Cedar Island and you get closer to the influence of the waters of the Pamlico, less and less ice as you head farther and farther east. Nothing across Hatteras, Ocracoke, or south of Oregon Inlet, and even northern Dare. We don't really anticipate any freezing rain issues up there. Winds, if you've been outside at all today, and I have, it is gusty, it's raw outside, and with those winds, once we start to get some ice on the trees and power lines, that's where our concern is that it may aid with the issue of power outages this weekend. Snowfall totals, for a lot of us to the south, it's not a snow event, it's a major ice storm. Jacksonville, Morehead City, could you have a light coating of snow? Again, as things end late tonight, probably. Outer Banks, Hatteras, Ocracoke, nothing, but north of Oregon Inlet, 2 to 3 inches, maybe some 3-inch plus values up toward Duck and Southern Shores. 4 to 6 across our north, that is largely unchanged. 2 to 3, Kinston. Greenville, you're kind of on that line. It was, 3 to 4 before, 4 to 6, but you're around that 4-inch ballpark. The higher amounts look like they'll be up toward Highway 64. And again, a lot of us will be sleeping when some of the heavy snow comes down, which is a good thing. But if you're up late tonight, that's when we'll have the heaviest snowfall amounts, especially as we get toward midnight. Coastal flooding is also largely unchanged. Strong northerly wind will pick up overnight tonight. Some water level rises possible the south side of the Pamlico. That includes down east Carteret and also Ocracoke and Hatteras Island. And then we've seen some elevated water levels, but no issues yet. The Outer Banks, it would be Oceanside, mainly with this 1 to 2 feet above ground level. Before I wrap things up, I'm just going to hop out and show some of the water level gauges on how they're behaving. This is Coast Guard at Hatteras. Again, levels are coming up, and then perhaps by tomorrow would be the best chance that we have some minor flooding. This is about mid-morning tomorrow for Hatteras. Pretty similar for Duck. Whatever we had earlier today, which was, I haven't heard much, so that's good news. At the high tide later this evening should be about the same. So not a big issue through tonight, but as the winds pick up tonight and tomorrow, our highest high tide tomorrow, late morning, we could have some oceanside issues again. That would be up toward the northern Outer Banks for sure. So as we wrap things up, we cut out a lot of things from the previous webinar because we're really wrapping up. We're into the storm itself, especially as we get into the evening. But this was a placeholder to remind myself to mention this again. On the PDF that I sent you, you have a whole bunch of graphics. Feel free to use those on social media. Feel free to forward those on. Since this was our last briefing, I wanted to put kind of the whole kitchen sink in there and make sure you had access to all of that. So that's it for us on webinars and briefings. Don't expect anything more.